So guys, a drum roll please. If you've been following me on Instagram, you will know by now that my big announcement is I'm pregnant. It feels so good to finally get that out there and share with you guys. It feels like forever that it's been like the secret. It's been quite nice in some ways, but now it's got to a point where I just don't feel like I'm being myself. So it was so nice to finally announce this on Instagram, and thank you so much for all the wonderful feedback so far. And yeah, I just wanted to create this video and just have a sit down chit chat. I'm also filming as part of this video my morning skincare routine and just some tips to look after my body whilst pregnant. So I hope you enjoy that too. But yeah, where to start? So I'm coming into my 15th week, which I can't believe, so second trimester. And yeah, let's dive into the first trimester. It was not easy. The weird thing was with Kyrie, my first pregnancy, I got the flu around 5 weeks pregnant. And with this pregnancy, at around 6 weeks, I got something very similar to the flu. It wasn't COVID, thank goodness, but it was really, really bad. And I was terribly sick for a good 2 weeks where I was bedridden. I couldn't eat anything. And the morning sickness before that had already started to kick in. So that mixed with an illness was very, very rough start. And during that time, we just had the announcement of a new lockdown here in the UK. So I was feeling at an all-time low, I'm not gonna lie, when we first kind of found out. So I am glad I'm here now at 15 weeks. After I got better, after the 2 weeks of being literally bedridden, I still felt incredibly fatigued, obviously recovering from that illness, but from the pregnancy too, and I was left with the morning sickness, so I found it very difficult to still eat. And the morning sickness went on until, I would say, week 12, and it wasn't until last week that I've started to get some of my energy back. I would say I feel more fatigued this pregnancy than my last one, but it's hard to compare. And also, not forgetting, I am running around after a toddler who is a boy with lots of energy, and my business is a lot busier these days, so I have to take that into account as well, that might be the reason too. It might not be that this pregnancy is that much different. But yeah, I am glad to get out of that first trimester. But I wanted to share with you guys some tips that helped me through those hard days. Obviously there's not that much that can really help. You have to kind of just get through it and do things that work for you, but I'll share what helped me on a daily basis, obviously after the illness, and hopefully it works for you guys too. One big thing is, like now, and I've kept it up, is to drink lemon water, because my hydration was terrible. I didn't feel like I could even drink much without like it feeling like it's gonna come up. So I just found the lemon quite refreshing, and a lot of the time I would add fresh ginger in there as well. I didn't want any kind of hot drinks, so that was kind of a no-go. So the lemon water was definitely a big hit for me, and it just like quenched my thirst and kept me feeling less fatigued. So this is something that I've kept up, and it definitely helps me throughout the day, give me a little bit of a lift, help my skin and just body keep hydrated, and great for your skin and the firmness. So that is my tip number one. Tip number two with food. It's a very tricky one because I, like many, couldn't really find anything that I wanted to eat. And this was a little bit different to my last pregnancy. My last pregnancy, I would have things like most sweet things and most creamy things I didn't want to even look at, and I couldn't smell. But this pregnancy, I really struggled to find anything that I fancied, which was hard because obviously I was ill and I'd lost a bit of weight, and you're not meant to worry that much in your first trimester, but you do, you know. So I wanted to start to like pick up and start to get in more calories again, but it was tricky. But my go-to things that I found were at least a little bit nutritious, that helped me feel like I could keep things down, was rye bread. I'm a celiac, and that one is totally fine for people that are celiac. So I found rye bread at the start. I could only manage just rye bread, toasted. No, couldn't stomach anything on it, and at least I know I was getting some fibre, and you could get like rye bread with sunflower seeds, so you know there's a little bit of protein in there as well. And then afterwards, after like a few weeks, I managed to have some like smashed avocado on that rye bread. And what I used to do is, like I trick Kyrie sometimes, I smashed in some like peas, and I'd put fresh spinach in the microwave and chop it up so finely, and it would obviously melt down, and mix that in with the avocado, so I could hardly see it, could hardly taste it, couldn't even taste the texture because it's that fine. And I would add that to the avocado mix on the rye bread, and that would kind of be my go-to. I ate avocado, I would say, about 2 a day for a good couple of weeks, which is not a bad thing. And I think you have to just go with what works and what you can stomach. And I would then mix it up with, in the dinner time, I would then have quinoa, which I could stomach. Probably a lot of you can't. I just couldn't stomach like rice or anything like that. So luckily quinoa, for a while I was able to stomach, and I'd just mix in that mixture into the quinoa, a bit of olive oil, lots of black pepper. For some reason I loved black pepper with a little bit of a kick, and I'd put some fresh lemon juice, and that literally was my go-to. So I'd have things like that, and then sip lemon water throughout the day. Another thing that helped me first thing in the morning was having a turmeric shot from the Turmeric & Co. It's the turmeric and ginger, and I would put this in with some warm water. Like I said, I couldn't have like really hot water for some reason, but I just had to stomach this. I liked the kick of the ginger, and a lot of women can stomach ginger, and it's really good for your stomach for settling it. And I found it gave me some energy as well, so I would have that, and I always do. I rave about it all the time on here and Instagram. I'd have that every day, and I tend to have that normally on an empty stomach, but in my first trimester I couldn't do that, so I would have it after I'd had my rye bread. So that kind of really helped me. And lastly, I would have during the day to keep me going, because obviously I wasn't able to have that much, as I'm telling you here, is one of the snacks that was just my go-to was just a plain cracker from Rude Health that was buckwheat and chia seed, but it's so plain you can hardly taste it. And then I didn't like almond butter at all, didn't like any other butters, but peanut butter I could stomach, but it needed a little bit of a kick to it, so I made kind of my own one, because I didn't want the ones that were added honey and all that kind of thing. So I would add a little bit of date paste and Himalayan sea salt, because I needed some salt. That is something that I needed in my first trimester. I think it's because I was lacking quite a lot, and I'd been ill, and my hydration and all that kind of thing. So I just mix that all together and then just smother it on a cracker, and I would have a couple of those a day. And yeah, that was like my go-to for a good kind of 2 to 4 weeks. And then luckily I was started to be able to have like sweet potato and butternut squash, things that were like carby, but they also have some nutrients in them. So what I tended to do is I was listen to my body and think, okay, what can I stomach? And a lot of the time it was carbs, and then I would think of the healthier carbs, what I think could like replace that and I could actually stomach. A lot of you might not even be able to do this, and my biggest advice is whatever you can get your hands on, just try and nourish your body, try and just get some food inside you. And my final tip when it comes to food, this might sound ridiculous, but it really did work for me, is to not let your stomach go empty. And I, for the first couple of weeks, really was a bad culprit for this, because obviously I didn't want to eat, because every time I did I felt like I was going to be sick. So then I realized that a lot of acid was building up in my stomach. So whether I liked it or not, even if it was a couple of bites of something, like I said, those crackers, I would make sure as soon as I wake up first thing in the morning, I would have like a couple of bites of something, and then I wouldn't go longer than 2 hours without having something going into my stomach. I found if I went too long, that's when the acidity would build up in my stomach and I'd feel very sick. So my advice to you is, if you can stomach something, make sure you're not letting yourself go further than a couple of hours before going again with some food. And I would eat very, very tiny portions, but try to have something every couple of hours. So that really, really helped keep the acidity down in my stomach. So I hope that helps you too. And the last thing on nausea was it was my husband, bless, because he was just like, your first pregnancy weren't that great, but this one, you literally can't stomach anything. And all I can compare it to is, if you've ever had seasickness, I felt like I was just on a rocking boat constantly. And my last pregnancy, I would have waves of it where it would be like 3 times a day. It was quite bad. But this was like 6 weeks of just constantly feeling like I was on a moving ship. My stomach was like turning, but also really dizzy in my head. So he bought me these Ava bracelets, which are made for seasickness. And obviously when you're pregnant, you can't take much medication. So yeah, I had these Ava bracelets on, and they're just like an acupuncture point that would keep on the pressure points throughout the day. You can wear it all day if you wanted. I did. And they seemed to keep the dizziness down, not so much the nausea, but I didn't feel like I was having that ship rocking motion. So it's worth looking into that. And I did watch a couple of YouTube videos on pressure points around my wrists, at the back of my ears, and on my hands, where you can try to ease the sick feeling through certain points. And I'm a big believer in all that. So I think with things like that, you have to believe in it for it to work. So I would definitely try and work on those points a couple of times a day, and it definitely did just ease it down when I did that. Another thing that really shocked me was my severe headaches. Like, I literally couldn't sit in a room with bright lights at all. So this was a real challenge, because I haven't really suffered from like migraines before. It was more migraines than headaches. I think it was the dizziness and the lack of food and stuff that was just making me have these severe headaches. And yeah, once I started getting more on my lemon water and eating a little bit more frequently, those headaches got less, and I went to bed a lot earlier. This is something that you just have to stick to and be disciplined with, and it really did work. Literally, Kyrie goes down at 7:30. By 8:30 I was in bed and I wasn't a sociable human for a good 6 weeks, but that kept those headaches at bay first thing in the morning when you wake up. So I hope that's helpful too. The next thing I want to talk about is exercise. Obviously, for those 2 weeks when I was ill, I couldn't do anything. The only thing that I could manage was sometimes to do a little bit of the core taps lying on my back, and some glute activation, and making sure that I'm just stretching my muscles to make sure they're not seizing up. And I would make sure all of that is lying on my back, because I couldn't like sit up a lot or stand up. So those 2 weeks was literally nothing. And then what I did was I would phase back into my fitness by doing my postpartum level 1 program, which I knew was very low impact for my body, and it wasn't jumping. And because of the headaches and the dizziness, real jumping sensation I had to stay away from. So a lot of my level 1 is you can get your heart rate going, you can get a good sweat on, and you can build your lean muscle again and keep nice and lean and healthy, but you don't have that jumping and high impact. So after the 2 weeks, I went into that program. Now, I'm not saying I wanted to do this. My motivation, I have never ever felt like this. I love to wake up and think, what work am I doing? But until about 10 weeks postpartum, 10 weeks pregnant, I really struggled to find any kind of get up and go to work out. But I knew from my past experience in my last pregnancy that the exercise did give me, for like a good hour or so afterwards, a real boost, and it relieved the headaches. It gave me some energy, and whilst I was doing it, sweating it out and releasing those toxins really, really helped me. So I know you don't feel like it, mamas, but it just honestly really helps. Even if it's 10 minutes and you're doing a bit of stretching, you're doing a little bit of toning, and you're just getting your heart rate raised slightly, it will do you the world of good. And that's what I did. I just did what my body felt like it could manage, and I would listen to it. And if I had days where I felt like I was really dizzy, that I might, you know, fall over, then obviously I would just kind of walk and call it a day on those days. But on the other days, I would put myself through at least a 30-minute workout that was not shaky, but I could get through. So that was really helpful, because it did help me like gain a little bit of energy and just kind of get rid of that like drowsy, fatigued feeling for a little bit, which sounds strange, but it does help. And then after about 10 weeks, I started to get a little bit of a buzz for it and an excitement to try to up my workouts again. I was still quite fatigued, but I'd lost a lot of that dizziness, which was amazing. So I started to go back to a lot of the workouts that I was doing, but I do always, when I'm pregnant, avoid really high impact crunches, planks, and any hard twisting motion on my body. I know it's not going to do myself any good, so those exercises I put aside, and I just do exercises that I know that are going to maintain a good health. It's going to be healthy for me and my baby, and just make myself feel really good and yeah, stretched out, energized, and feeling strong to get through this pregnancy and for postpartum. So if you're sat there and you're also pregnant and you're really like struggling for motivation, I do offer consultations, and I have an exciting project coming soon on my online subscription, which is going to be a section for pregnancy. So if you want some more information about that, please send me a message. I'll leave the link below to contact me, and I'll have a little chat and tell you about that. But I'm really excited about that project, because it will be like you're working out with me, and I'll be pregnant. I'll be putting you through your paces as a pregnant mama, and I will be doing the same. I'll be keeping myself healthy and my baby as well as yours. So yeah, I'm excited about that, and just sharing my journey with you. I shared my last pregnancy on Instagram, and I feel like I definitely want to document as much as I can on here too, that I feel comfortable, that my husband feels comfortable with. And yeah, I'm just excited for the weeks ahead. I am a little bit nervous. If you don't know our story, we did have Kyrie 5 weeks early, and they even don't know to this day whether he was a little bit more premature than that, by his growth and also by his lungs and his heart when he was born. And the last time I had a scan, I was rushed to hospital to have a C-section, to have him come out, and then he was in the NICU for a bit. So when it comes to scans, I have been quite nervous, because the last few I had at the end of my pregnancy was quite worrying and stressful. So even though I'm excited, I'm also a little bit nervous. And the good thing is, our last scan we went to, it was 12-week scan, so not so long ago at all. And I actually have here for you, you'd have seen it on Instagram, but here is the little baby. We don't know the gender yet. We're going to find out, and then shortly after we will probably share it with you when we feel comfortable. But yes, everything looked fine, but they're going to make sure they monitor this baby's growth and my placenta, and just keep an eye on it, and just you know, mark it as a little bit more of a high risk because of what happened last time. And I felt really confident with the consultant that I spoke to, and I felt in a better way, because before we didn't know that that was going to happen. We had never been pregnant before, and this time we're kind of just prepping and preparing to make sure that we can do everything in our power to make sure that we have the best kind of like pregnancy and delivery next. Like, we don't know what's going to happen, but having confidence in your consultant and the person doing your scans is like super important to us. And yeah, I feel a lot more relieved with that. And yeah, I'm feeling good now. I'm feeling a lot more healthy. I'm getting a little bit more energized. However, the fatigue is still there. I'm sure I'll keep sharing it with you. And I will share more about my second trimester. Like I said, my workouts, I'm able to do a lot more now. And we got a spin bike. This is something that I used to do once a week when I was in New York, is I used to spin it out. It was something that I just enjoyed when I was pregnant, so I'll add that into my routine. But apart from that, I'll be doing my bar, my signature lean and tones, yoga, my circuits, and going through a lot of my postpartum program as well, because those exercises are really safe for pregnancy as well. So if you're sat there and you're postpartum or pregnant and you really need some motivation and help, then just check out the link below for my postpartum program, or like I said, give me a message. Always happy to answer your questions, and I want to help you like I'm helping myself through this pregnancy. But yeah, I think that's enough for now. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of this video, and I will check in with you next time. And yeah, it's exciting. Pregnant. It feels so strange saying that, but so amazing.
Got down when the beat drop. Alexander J. Want you bad, yeah, want you bad, and she know. Want you back, and I want you bad, baby. Creep up, creep up. She knows. Girl, I want you, girl, I want you. Lost full of good weight. Gotta live it for the liquor. Tell me where you at, girl, I come a little quicker. There in the flash like you posing for a picture. Got my attention, I can hear you when you whisper. I'm still vibing, like we riding. Train full of bitches, that's a booty, call militia.
It's currently the morning time, and I wanted to share with you guys my morning skincare routine. I haven't done this at all on my Instagram or like my YouTube, and I've always wanted to do it, and I was like, I'm gonna get it done, because I think it's important also. I always love to look after my skin, but especially when pregnant. I use pretty much similar products when I wasn't pregnant and to now, but I've made sure I've been transitioning even to more cleaner skincare brands. And before I got pregnant, I was trying to make this transition, and even with makeup, I'm not there yet. You know, I'm not perfect, but I'm still trying to do this transition and find the skincare that works for me and replaces the ones that I used to love that isn't as clean. So it's been like a transition. But I want to share with these products that I've been loving and just been making my face feel so good. Luckily, I've been very fortunate through my life that my skin has always been pretty much clear. I do sometimes suffer from dryness and it looking a little bit dull. But yeah, I feel like it's back on game. And I don't know whether I've got like a pregnancy glow or not. Some people have said that, but I can't see it. I just feel like the last few months I've kind of found what works for me, and I want to share it with you. I have been given some skincare from Drunk Elephant, and I loved these products when I was last pregnant, and I've been using them for the last few months, and I was like, I can't believe I stopped using them. So I am so happy to be using them again, and I'm very excited that they sent me a few of their samples, and I have definitely repurchased some of them. So I want to share them with you, and let's get into this, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy some of these products and they work for you too. So I have just washed my face. Now in the morning I actually don't cleanse. I spoke to a skincare specialist not so long ago, and they were like, if you give yourself a good cleanse the night before, then in the morning you should just wash your face and put all the products on and you should be good to go, and overwashing can strip the skin. So that is what I've been doing, and it's been working for me. Others it might not work for, but for me it has. The cleanser that I've been loving is this one from, let's see if it zooms in. It's from Biosense. I don't know if you can see this. It's sometimes hard to get up close. Come on, there we go. So it's the Squalene Antioxidant Cleansing Oil, and I absolutely love it. It feels so moisturising, and like I said, I only do this on my nighttime, and I might do a nighttime routine too, and like what I like to do on my spa like nights on Friday nights. I like to indulge in my skin and have a bath and that kind of thing. So this is what I use in the night time. Drunk Elephant did send me this jelly cleanser, which I'm very excited to try when I finish the Biosense. I think I'll still repurchase this one and then try this one alongside it, and I think this is a great like travel one as well. But I have liked their cleansers in the past, so I'm excited to try this one. So that is what I do. So in the mornings I just wash my face with, first I just wash it with a damp flannel with lukewarm water, and then I splash it with colder water, which really wakes me up and it energizes my skin. And so now I'm going to go in with, I absolutely love this product. I swear this is what brightens my skin and makes me feel like alive in the morning. It's the Firming Day Serum, and it firms and brightens, and that is exactly what I think it does. And it really does for me, and I've heard a lot of other people say that it really does that for them too. I am trying to focus this thing, I hope you can see that. I'm going to link all of these products below anyway, so that you can click and check it out yourself. But yeah, I'm just going to go in, and I always put it on the back of my hand. So I just go in with 2 pumps, so that's all you need. And then I just take it in my hands, and then I just pat it. Oh, it feels so nice around my skin. I already feel the firmness and waking up. And then the rest of the product, I just feed it down my neck. I don't know if you can see that, but I feel like it's adding moisture already. You can already see like it gives you a bit of a glow. So that's what I go in first. And it feels so nice after like just washing your face. Really wakes you up. And then the next thing I go in with is the eye cream. It's the Tango Multivitamin eye cream. And I use this day and night. There we go. Takes its time. Again, like I said, I will link it. But I put it on the back of my hand, and I just do like 1.5 pumps. You don't need much at all. And in the evening, what I'll do is to give me that extra moisture. I do it like every other day. I add these Virgin Marula Luxury Facial Oil. This is what they recommend. Just adding a couple of pumps of this to the eye cream, and it just makes you feel even more moisturized at night, so it feels like it soaks in whilst you sleep. But in the day, I just use the normal eye cream, and I just pat it. I put it on my eye bone here, and then just little gentle tapping inwards first, and I get another bit, and I put it on this eye bone at the top, and I just gently pat on the upper eyelid. Very gentle, you don't want to be harsh on your skin at all. That's what I was taught. You have to be very careful with your eye skin because it's so sensitive and it's so thin. So yes, just little. I use this finger as well to pat. Sorry, I hope this isn't too intense. And this eye cream I feel is amazing if you are a mum and you don't get much sleep. And I am definitely going to need this when I get further into my pregnancy, and when I finally have the baby. I'll need this to cover those lovely bags that we get. But already those tired eyes don't feel as tired right now. So as you can see, that's kind of brightened around the eyes. My skin is already feeling like it's creating hydration. And by the way, I've just put this little headband on. I always do this when I'm doing my makeup and skincare because it just takes my hair back. I've got quite a lot of hair, so I like that away from my face. I think I got it from like Topshop or something. It's a little bit funky, but hey, gotta go with it. So that's the eye cream, and like I said, I go in with those, what is it again? Marula drops. So that's that. And then the next thing that I go in with is this proteiny polypeptide cream from Drunk Elephant. and it feels so moisturising. It's quite lightweight, but it really seeps in. And so this is it. I'll obviously, like I said, link everything. And I just love their packaging as well. It's so nice. So again, I just take a little scoop. As you can see, I'm getting to the end. I'm like, but I'll repurchase for sure this one. And in the winter, not in the summer, but in the winter, I definitely take these oil drops and just put 2 in there, take it from the back of my hand, and then just, again, I always dab. I feel like it soaks in better than rubbing your face, and I think it's a lot better. So I'm just going to put it down my neck. Don't forget your neck, don't forget the back of your hands, and just feed that into my face. Oh, it feels so nice. It's just, honestly, these little moments as a mum, I think for anybody, especially during lockdown, it just feels like you're having a mini facial in the morning. This is my time that I can just breathe. And if he's not at nursery, he just plays around me because this is my time. I like 2 minutes, because this, I'm doing a longer version because I'm chatting away with you, but this literally takes like 2 minutes, and my makeup routine takes like 5. So that's the moisturiser. And then I always go in with an SPF. And then I always go in with an SPF. Drunk Elephant sent me this one called the Umbra Sheer Physical Daily Defense. And it's high protection SPF 30, and it's got zinc oxide 20%, so really protective of the skin. Don't know if you can see that. So I think this one would be fine in the winter months, and it felt so nice on my skin. I've tested it out. But I am still using this one, which is a 50, and I really like a high protection. Winter, summer, spring, autumn, always use one. It's so important to avoid those wrinkles and just like protect your skin. So I really like that one from Drunk Elephant, but I have been using, because I want to share you the honest truth, this one from Zoe Skincare. Don't think that's going to zoom in because it's so bright, but it's from Zoe Skin Health Zen Obagi. And it's pretty thick, but, and like I said, in the winter that Drunk Elephant's fine, but in the summer I always use this one because honestly, it does not at all, you never get red, like you never get burnt. You still get a little bit of natural colour because, you know, it's always nice to get that, but this really does protect your skin and the back of your hands. And yeah, like I said, it's something that since I've been in my late 20s, I'm now 32, I've always put into my routine because I think it's just so important. So that is my finishing skincare. So now I'm going to go in with my makeup. I'm going to use this as a separate video for the makeup. So now you see me, I'm going to show you the products on the next slide of video. But if you want to see a makeup routine that's literally a mum 5-minute routine, I will do that for you. But right now I'm going to do the fun Instagram, YouTube thing where I literally, I've always wanted to do that. Probably didn't work that well, but this is the finishing look. Literally took me 5 minutes, just some primer, bronzer, put the bronzer on my eyelids, mascara, a good lip liner, lip balm, and you are good to run out the door, and a brow wiz. So yeah, feeling good now, ready to get on with my day. There was just one thing that I forgot to share with you, that I do morning and night now that I'm pregnant, and I did it on my last pregnancy, and I smother the Scar Saviour from Nessa Organics. I talk about this a lot on my Instagram and on some videos on here when I talk about my C-section recovery and the C-section recovery course that I teach with Hannah Johnson. So yeah, this stuff is amazing for like making your stomach feel so moisturized, hydrated. If you feel itchy when you're pregnant, this really helps, and also really good for stretch marks. I've been lucky, I didn't really get that many, but I got some on my chest, so I'm hoping this is going to help that, because bit of TMI here, I have like really small chest normally, and then when I get pregnant, I don't know whether it's because I'm normally really small, they feel so large and my skin feels really stretched. So this is just really helping that, and they ache, and I just love doing this every morning and night. So I smother this on, and as you can see, the consistency is so nice. It's like, it's not too oily, it's really quite thick, which is what but not like it just soaks into your skin straight away. So when you put it on, it's thick, but it soaks in immediately, so you're not like having to rub and rub and rub. It just like falls into your skin and you're good to go. So yeah, this product I swear by, and I'll leave the discount code below, but if you use the code ROXY10, you get 10% off, but I'll leave it down below. So I do that, and then all over my body, even my stomach, chest, legs, bum, arms and everything, I make my concoction. And I've done this when I was last pregnant. This really helped my C-section recovery, and I have just carried it on, and I'm being religious of doing it morning as well as night now. And I just get one of these containers and I put a moisturizer in it. So yeah, I fill it like kind of halfway with that, and then I put, this is like amazing stuff, and I sometimes give my face a little bit of treatment on this. It's rosehip oil from Rada Rosehip Beauty. So I'll leave the link again. It's 100% pure and natural rosehip. So I put like 12 drops of that in there, and vitamin E, which I've just run out of, but I still have it in here. Vitamin E oil, and I just put, yeah, 12 drops of that, 12 drops of vitamin E with the moisturizer, shake, 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 and then just lather it all over my body. Let it seep in. I swear by these products to keep my body hydrated and to not itch and to keep my body nice and firm. So yeah, had to mention those products because that is going to be my routine until literally even after the baby and after postpartum again. I just think it's a really good habit to continue with. So yeah, let me know below if you give any of these things a try and what you think. So right now I'm gonna go downstairs and get some work done, get stuck into it, edit some videos. I've got a client as well, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this part of the video, and see you later. So that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it and found it really useful, and I'm excited to share this journey with you and take you along. And yeah, like I said, if you want to get in touch and you need some help with your pregnancy or postpartum, please feel free. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and on Instagram, like, comment, share, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.